Most people believe that U.S. Navy SEALs represent the peak of military training in the modern world. Elite, relentless, unbreakable. But what happens when one of the world's most highly trained special operators steps into the training grounds of another elite force? One forged by jungle warfare, decades of insurgency, and real-world combat. This is the story of a U.S. Navy SEAL who experienced Filipino NAVSOG training. And what he discovered changed everything he thought he knew about endurance, discipline, and survival. The U.S. Navy SEALs are known worldwide as one of the most elite special operations forces ever created. Their name comes from their operational environments. Sea, air, land. SEALs are trained for direct action raids, counterterrorism, reconnaissance, hostage rescue, unconventional warfare. Their selection process, known as BUD/S, is infamous for pushing candidates beyond physical and mental limits. Most never finish. Those who do are considered among the toughest soldiers on Earth. But even among elites, there are other units, often quieter, less publicized, that operate in environments few outsiders truly understand. The Naval Special Operations Group, or NAVSOG, is the Philippines' premier maritime special operations unit. Often compared to Navy SEALs, NAVSOG specializes in jungle and littoral warfare, counterinsurgency operations, coastal raids, riverain combat, amphibious assaults. Unlike forces that train primarily for global deployment, NAVSOG is forged in local reality. Thick jungles, tropical heat, rugged coastlines, and long-running internal conflicts. Their training reflects one core philosophy: survive first, win second. Joint training between allied nations is common, but rarely discussed in detail. The U.S. and the Philippines have decades of military cooperation, particularly in counterterrorism, maritime security, jungle warfare. When a U.S. Navy SEAL joined NAVSOG training, it wasn't about proving superiority. It was about learning. What he didn't expect was how different everything would feel once the training began. The first shock wasn't physical drills. It was the environment. The Philippine jungle is unforgiving. Crushing humidity, relentless insects, thick vegetation, limited visibility. Every movement drains energy. Every mistake has consequences. The SEAL realized quickly, this wasn't a place where raw strength mattered most. It was a place where adaptability ruled. NAVSOG training emphasizes something unusual: efficiency over intensity. Instead of constant high-speed drills, instructors focus on energy conservation, silent movement, terrain reading, environmental awareness. The SEAL noticed something unsettling. The Filipino operators weren't trying to impress. They weren't racing. They weren't showing off. They were conserving everything: breath, strength, time. In jungle movement drills, the difference became clear. NAVSOG operators moved like they belonged there. They didn't fight the jungle. They flowed with it. The SEAL, despite years of elite training, found himself slower, louder, more exhausted. This wasn't a failure of skill. It was a lesson in environmental mastery. NAVSOG training places extreme emphasis on mental endurance. Long patrols, minimal sleep, limited food, constant discomfort. There were no dramatic speeches, no countdown clocks, just quiet expectation. The SEAL later described it as less about pain, more about patience. Many NAVSOG instructors weren't just trainers. They were combat veterans of jungle insurgencies, maritime clash, urban-rural hybrid warfare. Their lessons came from reality, not manuals. Every technique had a reason. Every rule was written in experience. That realism left a deep impression. NAVSOG favors simplicity. Weapons are often lighter. Gear is stripped down. Modifications are practical, not cosmetic. The goal isn't comfort, it's reliability. The SEAL recognized a powerful truth: the best equipment is the one that never fails. One of the most unexpected discoveries was the team culture. NAVSOG units operate like families. Hierarchy exists, but trust comes first. Communication is subtle. Leadership is calm. Egos are non-existent. The SEAL noticed something rare: No one was trying to stand out. They were trying to disappear. During a prolonged jungle exercise, exhaustion set in. No dramatic collapse. No loud struggle. Just quiet fatigue. That's when the SEAL realized. NAVSOG training doesn't break you loudly. It wears you down silently. And surviving that silence requires something deeper than toughness. There was no competition, only learning. NAVSOG operators respected the SEAL's discipline and experience. The SEAL respected their environment-based mastery. This wasn't about who was better. It was about how different paths create different strengths. When the training ended, the SEAL left with more than techniques. He left with perspective. That elite status doesn't mean universal dominance. That mastery is local, and that humility is a weapon. This story isn't about superiority. It's about understanding. In a world where conflict environments vary wildly, no single force has all the answers. The strongest warriors are those willing to learn from others, especially those who operate quietly, far from the spotlight. The U.S. Navy SEAL arrived confident. He left respectful, not because he was defeated, but because he was challenged in a way he didn't expect. And sometimes the greatest strength is realizing how much more there is to learn. If you enjoy stories about elite forces, untold military training, and real-world combat philosophy, subscribe, like, and comment below which special unit you want us to cover next. Because the most powerful stories are the ones rarely told.